Emotional day in court yesterday. How does it feel today?
Like I have my freedom back. Though I have to be honest, it's been very rough, to be before the court with my family in attendance, my mother, my father, my wife, my children. It was a very rough day.
He was the president's fixer, the man who once said he'd take a bullet for Donald Trump.
I'll do anything to protect Mr. Trump.
But now Michael Cohen says he's going to prison in part because of the work he did for Trump.
Was yesterday the hardest day of your life, or is that going too far?
It's an understatement.
Yet you feel you've turned a corner.
I know I have.
Just this week, Cohen was sentenced to 3 years in prison after pleading guilty to financial crimes, lying to Congress, and 2 campaign finance violations in connection with hush money payments made to porn star Stormy Daniels and playmate Karen McDougal.
The president's tweeting from very early in the morning, several different things. What struck me most is his claim that you agreed to this plea deal for this reason. He said, those charges were just agreed to by him in order to embarrass the president and get a much reduced prison sentence.
He knows the truth. I know the truth. Many people know the truth. Under no circumstances do I want to embarrass the President of the United States of America. The truth is, I told the truth. I took responsibility for my actions. And instead of him taking responsibility for his actions, what does he do? He attacks my family.
He says, his claim, you're lying about him to protect your wife, to protect your father-in-law.
Inaccurate. He knows the truth. I know the truth. Others know the truth. And here is the truth. The man doesn't tell the truth. And it's sad that I should take responsibility for his dirty deeds.
Cohen is cooperating with special counsel Robert Mueller in his Russia investigation. And separately, federal prosecutors in the Southern District of New York have implicated but not charged the president in those deals. They allege Cohen acted in coordination with and at the direction of Trump, according to court filings. Trump tweeted that he never directed Michael Cohen to break the law.
If it were true that the president was just an unwitting client who'd been advised badly by a lawyer, could be a defense. Problem is that according to Michael Cohen, Donald Trump made the deal himself with American media. At this point, the president is effectively an unindicted co-conspirator.
And in a bombshell revelation, prosecutors also reached an agreement with AMI, the publishers of the National Enquirer. Its CEO is Trump associate David Pecker. The tabloid admitted to making a $150,000 payment to McDougal in concert with the Trump campaign.
You lied for him for a long time.
More than 10 years.
Why?
Out of loyalty. Out of loyalty to him. I followed a bad path, and hence how we started this conversation. I have my freedom. I will not be the villain of his story.
He's saying very clearly that he never directed you to do anything wrong. Is that true?
I don't think there's anybody that believes that. First of all, nothing at the Trump Organization was ever done unless it was run through Mr. Trump. He directed me to make the payments. He directed me to become involved in these matters, including the one with McDougal, which was really between him and David Pecker, and then David Pecker's counsel. I just reviewed the documents in order to protect him. I gave loyalty to someone who truthfully does not deserve loyalty.
He was trying to hide what you were doing, correct?
Correct.
And he knew it was wrong?
Of course.
And he was doing that to help his election?
You have to remember at what point in time that this matter came about, 2 weeks or so before the election, post the Billy Bush comments. So yes, he was very concerned about how this would affect the election.
To help his campaign?
To help him and the campaign.
You mentioned dirty deeds in your allocution. When you think about it, when you look back, did you know what you were doing?
I'm angry at myself because I knew what I was doing was wrong. I should not be the only one taking responsibility for his actions.
So he's still lying?
Yes.
Do you know why you were loyal to him at the beginning?
No. No. It was a blind loyalty. It was to a man I admired, but I I do not know the answer to it.
The prosecutors seem to suggest it was, Southern District prosecutors, I should add, seem to suggest it was you were being driven by greed and ambition.
No, that's inaccurate. I didn't make my money working for Donald Trump. I had made a substantial amount of money years before working for Donald Trump. And anybody who knows me knows that to be the truth.
So what do you say to people, and there are a lot of people who would be watching who are going to be thinking, but wait a second, he lied for so long, why should we believe him now? What's the answer to that?
What do you mean lied? Lied about what? It's New York real estate. Yes, it's the greatest product ever created. Is that a lie?
Well, but you pleaded guilty to lying to Congress.
Yes.
So why should we believe you now?
Because the special counsel stated emphatically that the information that I gave to them was credible and helpful. There's a substantial amount of information that they possess that corroborates the fact that I am telling the truth.
In April, the FBI raided Cohen's office, home, and hotel room, seizing electronics and documents, some of which related to a payment to Karen McDougal.
So you're done with the lying?
I am done with the lying. I am done being loyal to President Trump. And my first loyalty belongs to my wife, my daughter, my son, and this country.
But some members of Congress are still skeptical.
It appears that Mr. Cohen's testimony would be a critical part of it, and I think Mr. Cohen's a gangster. I mean, his credibility is suspect, to say the least.
It was lost on few that Marco Rubio came out in the last couple of days and said, you know what, we actually have to get to all of the facts. You're starting to see the cracks in the armor that the Republicans have put up.
You worked for him for a long time. I was around you many, many years ago where you seemed to be having fun.
There was a lot of fun going on at the Trump Organization.
Working with Donald Trump.
I enjoyed working with my colleagues there as well.
When did it change?
I can't give you a specific time that it went from point A to point B. It was just a change. I will tell you that the gentleman that is sitting now in the Oval Office, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, is not the Donald Trump that I remember from Trump Tower.
How so?
He's a very different individual.
What's happened to him?
I think the pressure of the job is much more than what he thought it was going to be. It's not like the Trump Organization where he would bark out orders and people would blindly follow what he wanted done. There's a system here. He doesn't understand the system. And it's sad because the country has never been more divisive. And one of the hopes that I have out of the punishment that I've received, as well as the cooperation that I have given, I will be remembered in history as helping to bring this country back together.
The special counsel did say that you were doing your best to tell the truth about everything related to their investigation, everything related to Russia. Do you think President Trump is telling the truth about that?
No.
It's a big statement. And when you look back at the Michael Cohen who spent 10 years with Donald Trump, what would you say to him on that first day?
What were you thinking? You knew better. You know better.
How does this end for Donald Trump?
That sort of gets into the whole investigation right now. I don't want to jeopardize any of their investigations.
And you're still cooperating?
If they want me, I'm here, and I'm willing to answer whatever additional questions that they may have for me.
Right, but so you're saying there are certain areas that you can't get into because you're still cooperating with them?
Correct.
Why do you think President Trump is lashing out against you in such a personal way? Daily almost now, calling you weak, calling you a liar. Is he afraid?
Seems like it. That's what he does. That's what he does.
Are you afraid of him?
It's never good to be on the wrong side of the President of the United States of America. But somehow or another, this task has now fallen onto my shoulders. And as I also stated, that I will spend the rest of my life in order to fix the mistake that I made.
How are you going to do that?
I don't know. One day at a time.
For Nightline, I'm George Stephanopoulos in New York.
And we'll hear from the president's current attorney, Rudy Giuliani, Sunday on This Week with George.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.